I was wondering if there's something.
It's 5 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here.
Here.
We're going to open public comment at 5 o'clock. Public comment, any person wishing to address the board may do so once per public comment period. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and shall be addressed to the chair and not individual board members or others in the audience. This is a comment input option. The board is not required to comment or respond to presenters. Silence or non-response from the board should not be interpreted as disinterest or disagreement by the board.
Rose Roloff's, Tinks Trail. I wrote it on my thing so I wouldn't forget. I attended the 2026 MTA Annual Education Conference and Expo at the resort with you guys. And I wanted to briefly share that it was a very valuable learning experience focused on township governance, financial planning, leadership development, and long-term community vision. The whole conference basically was talking about aligning the township financial decisions, planning efforts, and the township long-term goals and master plan, and making sure that it's a guide and a pathway to the future. And it's not just what documents the township puts together, but what they can do to lead to the future. One of the biggest takeaways for me was that leadership development and education are ongoing needs. And I would strongly encourage that committee and commission members be given opportunities to attend these trainings, even if it's for just a day or just for a class, just because it helps you build stronger and more informed local leaderships. And you guys are investing in your committee members, your citizens, to shape your township to whatever capacity and success in the future that needs to be done. And if the expectation doesn't change, if you guys don't want any expectation to change, then your results will never change. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I really, really enjoyed it. And it was very informational. I'm sorry I didn't submit my report. It's late, but hopefully you guys will be able to all read it at some point. And if you guys have questions, please reach out and I would be happy to answer them.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Okay, Rosemary Swartout. Couple of things. Under number 6 prepaid, I was able to come in today and review some of the prepaid, non-paid bills. A little confused as to why mileage to go to the conference, and I agree people should be able to go, but it needs to be consistent. It went from 50 miles to 66 miles. And it was brought up at a prior board meeting that, quite frankly, I had to only claim mileage to the Lake Ann Bank, not the Honor Bank, where we hold our accounts, and I had to take signature cards too. So there needs to be some consistency. I mean, you're paying one person 50 miles, you're paying other people 66 miles. I mean, should be across the board. 9C, I have a question when you guys get to that. Where are the other bids and what does it cover? It says only the election, or your board members and your fire department, but what about your election workers that have to go to the county, or your blight officer if he does inspections, or even the deputies, if we have to travel to the bank? Are we not covered under any accidental insurance? Are we just like off liver? I mean, also, what does it cover? Does it cover when the guys get from the fire station to the accident and back, or from their house? Also, just out of curiosity, has the check for the snow plowing bid, or the snow plowing gone out yet? If it hasn't, is that not breaking our contract? Because the contract states that the invoice is supposed to be turned in within 30 days. So is that not breaking our contract?
Thank you.
Peggy Case. I want to talk about the parks a little bit. As you all know, I was formerly in charge of the Parks Committee. And I went on the website today to take a look at what was on there about the parks, and I couldn't find the Lamb Road Park. It took me forever to find it. I finally found it. It's not on the map. The map only lists the Inland Township Park, doesn't list Lamb Road. Finally found it under Parks and Rec Committee, where I was happy to see that you kept the narrative that I wrote about the park, kept that on there. So that's on the website that tells about the park and what's there, and the fact that it's pretty much developed now and ready to use. Underneath that is the pictures of the new Parks Committee, which, kind of threw me off a little. I said, it's nice that there's a new committee and I wish you all well, but I think you could have given a little credit to the previous Parks Committee for actually developing that park. And it's in good shape. We were over there today walking. And there are just a couple things that I would point out. The pictures that are on the signboard are pictures of winter sports. So it's time to change those pictures. So I have a couple here that I'd like to leave with you. You can decide how you want to use them, but they could be put up in those signboards at the beginning of the trails. Just to focus on what it looks like now, instead of two people snowshoeing through the park. The trails are in fairly decent shape, so even though, the committee that I worked with is not any longer the committee, we still feel like we have some stewardship responsibilities, just as citizens of the township. And so we do go over there and we check the trails, and a couple of people have been, picking up sticks and just, and we're committed to kind of continuing to do that, just as township residents who have a stake in that park. So the trails are in pretty good shape. They survived the winter. The 5 basswood trees that we planted a couple years ago survived the winter very nicely. They're budding out. Merlin tells me there was a brown thrasher over there. There was a tree sparrow. There was a cardinal. And there were some little violets. So not much is going on. And lots of acorns. Lots of acorns on the ground. So the deer probably had a good time this winter with those. The bench by the parking lot has been moved from right inside the parking lot. It's been moved over under a tree. So somebody needs to kind of move it back to where it goes. And I can't do that. I don't do that kind of work anymore. It's there. It's just not in a place that's useful. So that's about it. I would appreciate it if you did something with the website so that people can find the parks. There's no information that I could find on the website about the Inland Township Park either. Nothing. Actually, there's more information if you search for it on the Lamb Road Park. Nothing on the Inland Township Park. So it's very out of date. Needs to be fixed so people know where we are. Under services, you would think that parks would be something that would be listed under services. It's not. You have cemeteries, you have recycling, you have all this other stuff. You don't have the parks listed there. You have to go to committees to find it. It just seems a little odd. That's all.
Thank you.
William Swartout, 16341 Brundage Road. I'm here to speak about some documentation that I found back from 6/14 of, or top says dated May 24th, 2022, about a special meeting to look for building costs and put up a new fire department up here on our property. I had a meeting in there and everybody was present. Clark was there, or Worth was there, Wilson was there, Miller was there. Beechcraft was there, started with Paul Beechcraft, but we've gone through some supervisors. It's kind of gone away to the sidelines. And I think we should take a look at it. As you know, my loyalty is to the township, the future of the township. You know, I see Worth was here and Miller was here at the time when it was going on, so if it ever happens, we sell our property, I sure hope they don't vote to sell it, because they were in support of building a community center. We should revisit that. And I know the Inland Township Hall has been, it's old. Could sell that property and put money towards there without raising a bunch of taxes. Another concern I have being, in my management days of consolidations and saving company money, my personal opinion is we don't need two parks. Once again, that park, Lamb Road Park, is starting to turn into a money pit. Could sell that property off, take all that money there, and put more money into the park here. Rebuild the structures and everything around there for the new township hall. And I know it was gonna be a going project because, I've seen the sign Dayton had made.
I didn't have made that.
I've seen it, so.
I didn't make that.
Who made it?
I didn't make,
Let's keep it
Yeah.
comment.
Pardon?
Let's just keep it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've seen a sign about the future home of the fire department, so I know we were in planning for it, so I'd like to see if we can still move in on that. That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Does any other public comment? All right, we're gonna close public comment at 5:11.
I'll give you these pictures. I have to go.
Okay, thank you. Approval of meeting agenda.
Should we add this to?
Yes, please. We would just like to add, approve, Parks Committee poster.
To
Number
action items?
9N. 9N, yes.
Move to accept the agenda with the addition.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Prepaid bills.
Did you bring them with you, Rose? Because I didn't.
The
look.
consent
Yes.
agenda.
Approval of consent agenda, sorry.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
A second.
Do you have the prepaid bills with you?
Prepaid is in your packet.
Oh, geez, they're there. Never mind. I'll look at them there because I had a question that she raised, but.
Other discussion on that? You take roll call, please, Rose.
Nelson?
Yes.
Miller? Yes. Zelinski?
Yes.
Ford? Yes. Sights?
Yes, motion carries. Previous minutes.
We need to make a correction to nine B. Motion was made by Nelson, second by Worth.
Nine B. Oh, okay. Motion is made. By Nelson approved.
For announcements, we approved, sort of to put out flags.
We
Where are you?
approve
Oh, we didn't have to. It was just an announcement, so I don't know if we needed to put it on there or not.
No, announcements aren't,
Okay,
no pay, so. I mean, we didn't, approve her treasurer report on the tax issue. No, it's just an announcement.
okay.
I move the Inland Board approve the April 13th draft minutes as amended.
I'll second. Any discussion? Take roll call, please, Rose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Unpaid bills.
Chopping your head through. Yeah, that was on your desk, on the table. You should have it on your table. Did you check these?
I did not.
Rosemary did. But she did it as a citizen, so yes, that's okay.
Did you find anything of question?
Just the, what she said.
Yeah, and there was, one from the fire department that didn't have Dayton's initials or approval on it. But like mine,
Dayton will sign it afterwards.
yeah, as mine,
Which one was it? Do you remember? Or can you look at?
I don't remember. One towards the end, it was minor.
And I don't have to go, because there's a lot, but I don't have to go through them. Parker doesn't have one on there, on there either. Emergency Service Insurance Agency, does that sound familiar?
No, that's PFIS, that's the
Oh,
insurance,
that's
that's our new insurance company.
Move to approve the unpaid bills, check number 16011 to 16027 for a total of $9,879.87.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Take roll call, please, Rose.
Yes.
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Yes. Lights?
Yes. Motion carries. Any questions on the financial reports? Okay, jump to 8A, the manor comparison policies, appendix A.
I got changes.
I have a few too.
Are we going
That's-
over the bank reconciliation?
While we're
first?
doing them.
You wanna go first? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I don't have anything later, so I figured we'd just go.
Oh, okay. Anybody got changes in paragraph 1? Paragraph 2?
No.
Step 2?
I have a question. This was saying that it's going to be done in a timely manner. Isn't that rather vague?
Well, that's why I have a question mark,
Yeah,
and that's why it's here,
yeah. I'm
so we can
thinking,
have a discussion.
I'm thinking we need to say how much time it's going to be allowing in there. I think it's,
MTA, most auditors say 30 days. They recommend 15, but absolutely by 30.
That allows for if someone is sick or something, then,
yeah.
yeah, so.
So we want to say in 30
Do
days
we want to
then?
put 30 days?
30 days, within 30 days. I have
Yeah.
another problem with that paragraph. So from what I was told with MTA and with our previous auditor, so on here, like this is written more for a large larger township where there's multiple people in an office. Because there's only Rose and I dealing with the bank accounts, I was told that I should only post interest. I should not make journal entries. If I have to make a journal entry, it should be absolutely signed by both Rose and I with her permission. Like her and I have been at my desk and I've typed it in because we're working on solving an issue together. She signs it. But this transfers, et cetera, this should only say that I post interest. And the reason being for that, think about it. If I'm getting the money given to me in my office, I'm taking it to the bank. I'm reconciling the statement, I'm making the adjustments, and you're just relying on her to look at all that big picture there is no real checks and balances in place.
Well, it does
So I
say,
should not be doing that.
it does say the treasurer's office will scan all bank state, blah, blah. This includes reviewing the checks, deposits, proposing journal entries for interest.
So the way that it was,
But shouldn't it say
I just,
posting journal entries?
this.
It says proposing journal entries.
Right, because like I would say this is what you should do to post the interest, right? Like I'm writing it down, what you should do, or I'm saying, this is what I recommend you post for interest, and then I make no journal entries. But they have authorized because of the smallness of the office and because like several of the accounts that really aren't even reviewed, like the trust account, well, not trust account, bad example. I'm drawing a blank offhand.
What are the changes you want to make?
I want this to say, the treasurer's office, well, that's what I was gonna, this includes reviewing outstanding checks and deposits,
Posting.
and posting interest, and the rest needs to be eliminated. Reviewing, posting, interest.
What about, and leave transfers in there?
No, transfers need to be taken
Transfers
out,
Okay, and the et cetera taken out,
and the et cetera taken out.
okay?
And reviewing for any, I mean, you can leave that, and reviewing for any unexpected or unusual transactions, because
That's part of the review process.
that's part of the
anyway.
review.
Yeah.
I mean, you can leave it or you can take it out, either way is done. And must be done within, yeah, so I just want that changed.
Okay.
Okay.
And so the idea is just to, I don't know who won. So the idea is that I check off the parts, like the checks, the deposits, I make sure all those match. Rose makes sure that those banking numbers matches what she has recorded in the general ledger. So there's your checks and balances. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Step 3. Any changes?
Yeah, we do that.
Step 4, or do you have any other changes on?
I don't have any other three.
The cash handling process?
Wait, I thought we
Step
were going
four.
paragraph by
Oh.
paragraph.
Nothing on step 3, so step 4.
Do we need to retain documentations in the clerk's office? Because I thought we can legally keep I've been scanning in all of my working
And
documents.
then I'm starting to scan in
Of
after that.
any notes
my
that I
stuff.
put in
Yeah.
right into the BSNA program. So I don't know, I mean, I can hand over my working documents to her. I just don't see any reason to keep a hard copy as well.
I'm keeping them just until after the audit.
Okay.
Just.
Are you
to-
keeping mine or yours?
No,
'Cause I haven't been
the
giving
ones you
mine.
give, the ones you give to
Okay.
me. And plus they're scanned in. So I just.
Right, they're all
and-
scanned in.
Until I'm comfortable with this scanning thing, because sometimes the auditor says, can I see? And it's like,
Well, you can email that
it's
scanned
not there.
document from
Yeah, you can, but when they come in and want a paper copy, so yeah.
They don't, do that anymore. The old auditor came and wanted actual hard copies of
Yeah,
everything.
oh, Richard did too.
And what about the note? Do we need to do anything?
It's talking about outsourcing the preparation of the bank rec. And my question was, do we want to keep this for the future? That it's already in our policy, or do
Yeah.
we want to delete it from the policy
I think we
altogether?
keep it.
Okay.
Okay, cash handling process.
Step one. Unless anybody has anything under general. Okay, it's. Step one is fine. It's in step two
Yeah, just
where I
see
put
what
my sticky note.
I
Just
see
wanted to make
an
sure
issue
it
too.
was
Let's see
there.
if it's the same one.
Okay.
So you're looking at step 2 now?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Which
is it,
one is yours? Let's go start with there.
is it, the second line at the end where I changed it, this should be done by either the treasurer and the deputy. And it should be with another staff member or elected official acting as backup. Would that be better to say? Because
I gotta read
sometimes,
the whole sentence.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to make sure I'm
I don't-
reading it correctly.
I don't think I didn't take out the other part.
I guess I'm fine with that.
We can say treasurer and deputy treasurer or another staff or another elected official.
So this should be done by either the treasurer and the deputy or with another staff member acting as backup.
Yeah, that's.
The problem I have is this line. Checks shall be scanned using the check scanner obtained from the township's financial institution. It should say whenever possible, because there are
Okay.
rare occasions where checks will absolutely not go through the scanner and we have to manually deposit them. So then those checks are covered.
So we'll say shall be scanned using the check scanner obtained by the township's financial institution or
Yeah.
whenever possible,
Yeah, you
whenever
don't need it
possible.
more.
Okay, and then this line here, what says, and this is truly like, I worked on this because I read this line and I have not figured out a solution. So I called BSNA, I called MTA. There is no way to scan into cash receiving a deposit ticket.
Okay.
There's no way to do it. So, and also retention laws require that we keep a paper copy of deposit slips. So that whole line and the deposit slip retained in BSNA as document of the amounts received can go away.
Which line is that?
It's right, if you start right under the shell that's in red.
But shouldn't we
Oh.
shouldn't we say the deposit slip retained for retention period?
Yeah, you can say that.
And
For,
how long is it?
Creation date plus 7.
For creation date. Plus 7 years.
7 days or years? did you
Years,
say?
years.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I heard that
Images
correctly.
from scanned checks are also retained in the SNA. You do scan the checks, right? No.
Or also, they do not, again, I mean, if there's, that may be something that's doable in the new one. It is not something doable in the .net. All of the checks are scanned into the bank system and they are there forever.
Yeah.
Whether we deposit manually or whether we deposit with a scanner.
Sure, yes.
You know, by going to the bank. So images from the scanned checks.
Okay.
I don't know how you wanna word that. I mean, it's an automatic thing from the bank, so.
Okay.
And I don't think there's no, I asked the bank, cause I asked them about keeping the checks. There's no law, so they recommend that we keep them 3 to 4 weeks after we scan them. Just, I keep them until, like I kept every tax one till the end of tax season and I still currently have them locked up. My
So
plan was
images
to keep
for
them.
scan checks are retained, so take out also are retained for 1 month.
No, because they're retained, they're retained forever and I don't,
At the bank,
they're retained at the bank. So there's, I don't retain them locally.
So
I
can we
don't see
just
any
put it in the
reason to.
bank? Can we just say
I-
retained it in the bank?
I don't think it,
Or do you want to just scratch the whole
I don't
line?
even-
I just say
Scratch
we
the
scratch
line.
the whole line.
and then you can scratch the next line, this should be done by the deputy treasurer or treasurer. I mean, this, the whole
Well,
thing pertains to just the treasurer, it says that, in a sense, treasurer's office.
Well, I mean, unless you want it clarified in here that the check scanning is done by the treasurer and
Yeah.
deputy treasurer.
We should say,
Check scanning should be done by the deputy treasurer or treasurer.
Checks shall be scanned by the
Scan/deposited.
scan/deposit.
Are we gonna get all this?
Treasurer, deputy. Okay.
Okay,
good,
next paragraph.
Well, I just got one question. So when this says a copy of the transmittal or trans,
mhm,
you know what I'm
Transmittal
saying?
device.
Sheet.
That's what you get when you go to the bank, right? You make and deposit.
No, this is a credit or debit
Oh,
or transaction.
I didn't mean to.
But when somebody pays us because of the credit card program we get an emailed slip. And it tells us we're gonna be receiving the money, but we don't receive that money usually for a few days afterwards. And then I just print that out and attach. Does that?
An email?
That's where I consider a transfer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanna make sure that we're good there.
Step 3,
Once the deposit slip is prepared, the deposit is taken to the bank by the treasurer or deputy treasurer, it needs to say. And, we need to take out locked or we need to buy a locked
Yeah,
bag.
that's why it's highlighted
Because
in
we don't
red.
have
Yeah.
one, we've never had one.
yeah, locked is taken out.
so include locked.
No,
Don't include locked?
no.
No,
We never, when we,
it's just a bank bag.
Okay.
so if I'm here till 5 o'clock and I have cash, it stays here in the safe. I come back the next day, I take it out of the safe and I go immediately to the bank. Rosemary does the same thing. So the bank, so the only risk is if we get in a car accident on the way to the bank, somebody can get the bank bag. But if it has a lock on it, they can cut it too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
I mean, then I wasn't sure how you wanted to do that.
Uh,
1,000 for,
Yeah, that needs to change as well. And just because this is saying that when cash collections are below, so when cash collects exceed 1,000 in a day, we do make a bank deposit. At, like I said, if I get $1,000 in at 4:30 on Wednesday, it's not going to the bank till Thursday. And honestly, if it's the middle of the winter and that's a horrible traveling day, I don't take it till Friday. And it's here in the safe. So, I don't know that it should say daily because, again, this is written for a larger place and we're not here daily.
What would you like to change it to?
I would like to say,
At the end of the day when possible?
well, not at the end of the day, cause I'm here till 5, so.
It
So
won't
at-
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, say, I would say when cash collections exceed $1,000 in a day, the bank deposit will be made within 24 hours, if possible. And then when cash collections are below $1,000,
Once a week.
yeah,
Once a week?
at
Once
least
a week.
once a week.
I have a question back on the first paragraph. Once you've added, in the first sentence, treasurer or deputy treasurer, do you need to say it again at the end of at the paragraph? This should be done by the deputy treasurer, the treasurer acting as backup?
One way to rectify that is to put under step 3, go to be done by the treasurer or deputy treasurer, and then you write the whole sentence. Because at the top, these items need to be done by. And you're only writing it once instead of writing it every time you finish a sentence.
Well,
To
I
me,
was
it's
just thinking we could just cross out that last sentence because we've already covered that it's going to be done by the treasurer or deputy treasurer in the first sentence.
This is
First
true.
paragraph.
I'm good
What do
with
you
taking
think?
it out.
The last sentence of the first paragraph.
Yeah, because we don't always, I mean, honestly, like, again, this is like,
For more than one.
yeah. And if, this is also assuming that your deputy is working alongside with you or full-time as well, or more days than once. And then this whole notes paragraph can be removed because.
Okay.
So are we taking the should be done by the deputy treasurer out?
Yeah.
Okay, we're taking that out.
Okay, good.
And this whole notes because, we don't have another office that is collecting cash. My recommendations.
Good.
Sorry.
Section 5.
So for next month, the June meeting, we will have a second reading of this with all the
With all the corrections.
language.
I'll make all the corrections in it.
Okay.
And then we can approve it.
You and I can review it.
Okay.
Perfect.
For section 5.
Section 5 what?
Financial system access.
Oh, you're looking at the book, the book.
Mhm.
My
Section
apologies.
5.
So I only had one thing on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullet points down where it says supervisor or appointed person. That appointed person should be.
Whoever you would appoint.
I think that's what we would do here,
Oh,
just say it's
No,
who it is. Just so it's done.
that was on the wrong page.
Oh, but you may change your mind time to time, and also a new supervisor may change their mind.
Okay. So we're good with that? So I just had a question there.
What,
All access
Yeah,
to BSNA will be monitored and logged. Access will be
I think that
reviewed
sounds good.
by the outsourced
Yeah.
IT provider.
okay.
You want-
That's reading.
You wanna leave that in there, the IT provider?
The IT provider was crossed out.
Because our IT provider is in a comp and they don't deal with BSNA.
Right.
What do you guys read?
That's not part of the
packet. It was taken out a while back.
So are you saying that it should be left in or not taken out?
Outsourced IT providers should be taken out.
That's not in my packet.
It's
not in ours either.
It's right here. It's not here. It's here. Oh, it's not in the packet. It's
We were
in
given
this.
this a month ago.
Oh,
This whole
oh,
packet.
okay, you brought that back. Okay, I did not do that.
Yeah.
On the agenda?
Yeah,
It says
We
Commander
did get a
Casteres and
copy.
Policies Appendix
it was
A.
last month.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
For
did
the
not.
people that weren't here last month, how will they get a
I'm with
copy?
you, Teresa. There was only two, procedures included in that.
Hour when we're done.
So let's just do the two then tonight. Since it's not.
Bring it
in the
with you next
packet.
month.
Do we wanna just do the two since? it's
Yeah,
not in the
because
packet?
that's all I read,
Let's just do the
because
two
I
since it's
wasn't,
in the packet.
I guess I wasn't clear, I'm sorry.
So, I'm with you, Teresa.
So we're not gonna do this?
We'll bring back.
We'll do the rest of Appendix A next month then.
Okay, so now we're gonna do the rest of the appendix A next month. Got it? Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. So now we're on 9
I will make a note.
next month.
Nine A, approved Keith Bonnie liquor license.
You tried to do last month. I should have spoke up louder, because I knew that we had done this for.
You wanna go ahead and speak
I don't
on it?
know what much to say, thank you. Pete from Turtle Lake. Yeah, we're trying to get a beer and wine license, which we have to go through the state of Michigan, but before that, we need the blessing from the board. Ted showed me, he sent me all the pictures of all my work, I think, I assume you have the same little pamphlet, so.
Yep.
If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything.
You're building a new building,
Yes.
and that's where it's gonna be,
Pardon?
and that's where you're gonna be located with you.
Correct. Correct.
So instead of everybody bringing their own beer and wine, you're gonna sell it to them.
Correct. Well, we're gonna try, that's what we're proposing, yeah.
When they run out of their own.
When they run out of their own, okay.
So is the addition, I mean, the new building larger than the old building that you have?
Yes, I don't know, Mary, you probably remember, that was just that little lean-to off of Janet's,
Yeah,
so it's pretty much straight behind the,
yeah,
the
I see
old,
where it's
cause
going.
it's actually, yeah. It's needed. It's really, you can't even remodel it.
And what are you gonna do about the drain field? Do you have to put in?
So
a
we're
new
putting
drain
in
field?
sewer all the way across the front. It's already, sewer lines are in, so then it'll just go to a couple septic tanks into a pump chamber and then into a 40 by 60 drain field.
You probably told the planning commission that, but I was
Okay.
curious.
I'm sorry?
You probably told that to the planning commission, but I was curious.
Oh, okay.
Because it says existing drain field to be removed.
Oh, yes, cause we removed that old one and then we put in, yes. And there'll just be what, 2 bathrooms?
Well, so there will be an employee bathroom that's inside, and then the public bathroom will be outside.
But we only have to approve the liquor license.
Yeah,
And just because it has to do with the fire department,
You might have to, when you apply for your liquor license, I think you have to have a letter from me with your load, your occupancy load, how many people can be in that building at a time. I believe you have to have that.
Okay, I would say probably maybe
Yeah,
So I-
7 at the
so-
very most we've
well-
ever really had.
You have to post it and you have
Oh.
to get that from me,
Okay,
so he can do that as if we.
So I can look at his dimensions here and see what he's gonna have, and then go through there, because it's technically, it's gonna be classified as assembly or a retail building. So, under classification for the fire department, so then, like your kitchenette that you have and your cooler, that takes out space of your overall space. So then like each person equals out to be 20 square foot. So then that says, okay, you can only have a max of 3 people in here at a time. Otherwise, you're violating
Fire code.
fire code, basically. Yep, so I got the dimensions and stuff like that, and then really, is it built yet? No, once you get it built, I can go in there and make sure, but I think you have to have that before you apply for your liquor license.
So we had to go through the state of Michigan, through Amber Arbor, and because of the fact that we are building a new building with the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah,
It's because, you know, that we need the bathroom and updated, and
right.
so you're telling me I gotta wait for a year?
Until that's built, before you get your liquor license? I believe so, yes, cause I
'Cause
think you have to,
when
cause you're
we were
selling it in that
talking-
building.
To Audrey, I think.
So how about we do the, can we do the existing building as of right now? And then
This is
go,
gonna be a lot smaller.
I understand that, but would it still pass? And
I
then
don't-
we
I
would
don't
go
know.
the new and improved one once it was built.
I don't know,
Purpose of liquor
cause I
license
believe
now, how
to
long
get
will it
it,
last?
you have to.
Yeah, and I don't know that that has anything to do with the board.
I have to say.
I don't
for the
think it
thing.
does
I know
either.
it had to be done for down the road at the Rich's Cafe. You might just wanna look into it, and if you don't, then that's great. And I still have to, if you don't have to have occupancy load for that building.
I can text the engineer right now, but, so you're telling, they can't approve me tonight is what you're saying?
They can approve you tonight. I just,
Oh, I guess
before
that's
you,
fine.
they can approve you to get a liquor license, but I think for you to turn it into the state, you need that information from me.
So, our lawyer did all this and he said we needed Audrey and blessing to the way.
Then that's fine.
Okay,
I know some
So,
places, but you
let's-
still have occupancy load once you get it built from.
Okay, all right, and I have no problem doing that.
I'm sorry, what was your?
should get the occupancy no after it's built.
Correct. And we'll just hand, yes.
Yeah, and then somebody wants to make a motion.
I move to recommend the Michigan Liquor Control Commission approve the request from Keith Bonney for a Class C liquor license for the property located at 854 Miller Road, Beulah, Michigan, based on the information presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Take roll call, please, Rose.
Yes.
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Cheers.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. You guys got a lot of stuff on your plate, don't you? You got a busy hour, hour and a half every, once a month, holy cow. So do I get a email? How, what do I?
I would recommend getting a copy of the minutes once they're done.
Okay.
And if you need that for the state, I think that's what the Hofbrau did.
Okay, so we'll just sit here and wait. The minutes come tonight or I come back in or?
You, Rose will have them, the draft ones in so much time. 7 days, I think. She'll have them sent with it.
Might even fast track them for you.
Oh, and it is what it is. I mean, I'm just more curious as it.
I mean, give me your phone number.
231-651-9956.
We should be ready by next Tuesday.
Okay.
You can say.
As soon as he does it, I put it on the website, so you can print it off the website.
Oh, it does get posted on the web?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll call you once you know when it does.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep, you guys too.
9B, approve.
And then, so I'll just get with
MTA Board of Review members.
Yeah, apparently.
I'm sorry.
You're going to MTA conference.
Yeah, I discovered that when I was looking at that, we have to.
We
approve
discussed it, but we need to approve them going.
I think it was said, it just wasn't written. It was said but not written. I listened to it. It was said but not written. We just need to add that. Cause when I ran into Rose there, I was like, I didn't know you were coming.
Well, we should have done that when we did the corrections to the minutes.
Oh, yeah, we could have done it there. No, because it's the previous minutes, right? Yeah, so it was the previous month's minute. You have to do them you have to make a new motion.
Right.
Ready for motion?
Yep.
I move the Inland Board approve conference fees, travel expenses, and hourly pay for zoning board of review members to attend MTA's Planning and Zoning Primer Seminar.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would say the discussion is that a moment ago I heard about the MTA conference. This is for a different
It was for the conference.
conference.
Was for the conference.
Wait a minute, you're just asking for something for a different conference?
Yes, so let's not second that. Okay. Then we'll just vote no then.
Do you have any other discussion?
Well, the board of review members go to planning and zoning, would they want to?
I don't
I'm
think
confused what we're even talking about.
Board of Review, they go to Board of Review training.
Okay. So we should just vote no then.
But they could also go to MTA if they wanted to
And did.
and did. So that's why I think it's on here,
Because they were let down.
because it was left off.
Okay.
So I read a motion that was for something else. So that's why we should probably vote no on it.
Any other discussion? Is this a roll call or?
Cause it's money.
Money.
Yeah.
Oh,
roll-
yeah,
Can you take roll call?
Nelson,
No.
Miller,
no,
Zelinski,
No,
Worth, no, Zides.
No.
All right.
I make a motion that we pay the fees for the MTA annual conference, the mileage and training hours for Board of Review members who attended the MTA conference.
So that I'll second.
Any
And I
discussion?
didn't write that ahead of time. so
Write it
you're gonna
down.
have to do that on your own.
Who seconded that?
Ted did. It is. Do you have any discussion on it? You take roll call, please, Rose.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Zides,
Yes,
Worth, yes, Nelson,
Yes.
Miller.
yes.
motion carries. C, approve accident and death insurance for Township Board and Fire Department.
I thought the whole reason, I was so confused when I saw this in here because I thought, is this in supplement of what we just changed our insurance policy? I thought part of the reason we changed is because that was included in the
And then-
premiums of that.
No,
No, this is separate.
What is included in that? I thought we approved.
So we've never had
Accident.
this. Basically just changed our insurance.
Wasn't there something
We
that
did-
improved people on their way to and from?
that's what,
We talked
Insurance
about
does it.
this, but this was never made in last month's motion.
we didn't
So
choose a
now it's back and
a
forth.
dollar figure.
So
So
this is
each
part
one-
of the previous.
Each one of these is the policy number up here. Got the option to pick from. So 36,796 was the $200,000 option, 97 was the 150, and 98 was the 1,000, or 100,000, sorry.
So this is over and above the other insurance costs that we're paying. And is this per person? This is for the total policy?
Yes,
That's what we were told,
yep.
our understanding.
Okay, and when it says volunteer, who does that cover? That's just volunteer firefighters? Like, does it volunteer committee members?
He said it's for the fire department and the board members when I had the discussion with
I'm not in disagreement that the firefighters should be covered by insurance at all, right? I just, makes me, like, are we okay to do that? Are we okay to insure certain employees and not other employees? Because in the one of the payroll classes and one of the policies about employees classes that I took, it said how important it was to make sure that everybody's treated fairly and that you don't, right? So like, are we treating people fairly? Are we legally allowed to do? I don't know.
We didn't ask for this when we were talking about it. This was just something that they brought with them.
I thought it was for all employees.
And I think
That's
it
what I'm
would-
asking, because I feel like it has to be for all employees, or we're giving special treatment to certain employees and not other employees.
For all employees.
in my opinion, it should be all employees. Because we're not the only salaried I mean, we're required to have a planning commission. I mean, these are things that we are required to have. You and I are required to have a deputy. Our deputies should be covered. Our planning commission and board of review, those things that we're required to have should all be covered.
So, I guess I would make sure that that's the case before I pass this. I mean, I don't know. How you wanna do that? And this is part of the policy that we're already changing to. Correct? This is not a separate policy we're taking.
I think it was an option to include it in the insurance package. I don't think it was originally part of what we just changed to. I think this is an addition.
We approved the insurance, but we didn't approve the dollar figure. Should what?
Do we have a copy of what we looked at last month? I didn't.
This was
I
on there,
didn't
right?
bring it.
This was what it was last month.
Was this the only thing that we had for those
It
ones?
was the rest of the packet,
The other was the insurance that we approved, BFIS and
the
the
work
back.
Yeah,
comp and
I thought-
liability.
There was two different columns showing the difference between the two.
Right.
I feel like we have a lot of questions and very few answers.
Yeah.
So maybe we should take 4 weeks, dig into this a little bit more, and come back with answers to who's covered,
Yeah,
whether it's volunteer staff only or always on the planning commission and deputies and whatnot, who's covered.
And
And whatnot.
volunteers.
yeah, basically all paid employees.
Because I have all the same
Anybody that-
questions.
Okay, okay.
So bring it back in. This is May. Good grief, we're talking June. Oh, wow. Good call.
And are you going to call and make those inquiries? Okay.
Yep. Approved budget calendar for 2027, 2028.
And I'll take this one. So for the previous calendar year, fiscal year, we had a budget calendar that we had published and followed. So this is an update from that one, giving us some proposed dates with milestones along the way. For example, when to create a draft budget, when to send it out to the leads, the treasurer, the clerk, the fire chief and whatnot. When to get those back, when would we want to have a public first public hearing and whatnot. So these are just proposed dates to kind of give us a roadmap to having a budget ready to go before March 31st of 2027. So, and it worked really well this year because we had one well beforehand.
I move that the Inland Township Board adopt the fiscal year 2027-28 budget calendar and direct staff to implement and follow the schedule listed in the calendar.
I'll second.
Thanks for writing the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Approved fire department tire replacement costs.
Move to approve tire replacement from Just Trucks for $11,852.50.
How many tires are we talking about?
Can't talk till it's seconded.
I'll second.
I've been waiting to say that.
I'll
I mean, I've been waiting to ask the same question.
So how many tires are we talking about, do you know? No date on it now.
Yeah, I have several questions actually, so.
Okay.
How many tires are we talking about for tire replacement? I'm assuming it's just one truck?
10 of them.
10?
Truck,
Okay.
What truck?
the tanker,
Yes.
it's 10 years old,
T fire truck.
So it's all
tanker.
tires.
all the tires on the tanker, yep.
It doesn't say tanker on here.
It says up at the
It's
top,
on-
it says T fire truck, tanker fire truck,
The Kenworth.
15 Kenworth.
Here.
So how many tires?
There's,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
10 on it,
well, that's assuming you
sorry.
know that
there's
the
10 tires.
Yeah.
and not like, you know, the LE version of the car. I don't know. I mean, I figured that, but I just wanted to confirm. Also, is this a, MI deal?
Hmm?
Is this an MI deal? The Michigan deal thing?
No, it's through who does all of our stuff.
Okay, are they and I'm sorry, I just feel obligated to ask this because it is a lot of money. And our policy does state 3 quotes. Are they the only, and I understand that not every tire place is gonna be able to lift a fire truck, so I'm just figure I have to ask, like, is there not an ability to get 3 quotes? Is there ability to get 3 quotes?
There probably is. I went to Just Trucks because they do all of our continuing, maintenance on it, and they've already replaced the tires once when the old chief did his little demo thing that didn't work, so they're already well aware of those tires and everything, so I did not go out. I don't know who else does them, to be honest. I know Elmer's, I think Elmer's, I think they do them all themselves because they have their own in-house mechanic. I don't know who else does it. I can do
Aren't we,
more, but from,
I know, aren't we obligated to at least try? I'm just,
that's fine. Not a problem. I'll do some more research and try to find other places that do it.
cause I thought the Michigan deal was the only exception, if it was under there.
No, it has been said by MTA that if there's someone locally or someone that we've used, then
It's not in our policy.
it's not in our policy, no.
Well, it needs to be
Right.
if that's the case.
But isn't the policy also for over $20,000?
That's
The dollar
sealed.
figure.
3,000 is sealed.
3,000.
Sealed bids, okay.
Yeah.
So there was a 20 in there for something.
And the door seal, is that just for the driver's side of the truck or?
No, it's the door seal that goes around. It's ripping off.
Oh,
And he's temporary, kind of fixed it, but it's a temporary fix.
okay.
So it was noted when the, maintenance got done.
Any other discussion?
Oh,
You take roll call, please.
Miller?
I just agreed to get more.
We had a second, so we have to.
Oh, got ya.
If
Can
we
you,
have the discussion before we make the
Got ya.
motion, which we can do, we don't have to,
But you can't once there's a motion made
Right,
and
I
not
know.
a
have to
second,
vote.
which was the case.
right,
can you read the motion again, please?
to approve tires from Just Trucks for $11,852.50.
Oh. And you asked me first,
Your name is right there first, I'm
so I'll
sorry.
say no. No, that's fine. Cause he's gonna check.
Nelson,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Zeitz,
No.
Zelinski,
No,
okay.
Add Centrios monthly payment to EFT.
Centrios is our door lock
Yes.
system, and we have to pay, that's the only way they'll allow us to have access to our lock machine. It's an automatic credit card payment, so we just need to put it on our list. I make a motion that we put the Centros monthly payment on our EFT/credit card payment list.
I'll second.
Do you need to put the price in there?
No, it just, the law just states we have to maintain that list. I have to maintain the list and provide a copy to Rose.
Other discussion? Take roll call, please, Rose.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Linsky,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries.
If we said no, we'd get locked out of our building.
I'd have to cancel the credit card monthly payment.
Approve deputy treasurer hours.
I make a motion that we approve the deputy treasurer for 250 hours for the budget year.
That's right now.
For the budget year?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I heard it correctly.
Yeah, I did type that one up for you, Rose.
After I actually wrote it. This is 9G.
9G.
You have a second yet?
I'll second. Any discussion? You take roll call, please, Rose.
Yeah. I love the motions being written out, but I find that it's really way to organize them. Okay, Zelinski,
Yes.
Sights,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Nelson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So this next one.
Discuss payroll options bi-weekly, bi-monthly.
Well, this one, like, literally, I just was able to get back in contact after I read all the different things requiring this, to get final approval from the payroll company because it went back and forth with so many things. So during the conference, one of the things I learned that I did discuss with Ben was that we need to become more in compliance with the law on when we can pay employees. So, the best way that they recommend, that is the easiest for everyone to be in compliance, is to pay on a semi-monthly payroll period, which means you get paid twice a month. And, the reason being is there's a lot of different laws that if you pay somebody only monthly, they have to get their check no later than the first of the next month. And if that month is a Sunday, that's a completely undoable thing. So you can't pay them early because that's considered a loan to an employee, which is against the law. So there's just all these different laws that tie into there where the easiest way to be in compliance is to switch to a semi-monthly payroll. So how that would work is calendar days 1 through 15 would be paid in one paycheck. 16th through the end of the calendar month would be paid in a second paycheck. And those pay dates, with talking and working with Integrated, would be easiest to do it this way. So I gave you the example. So May 1st through the 15th would be the first pay period ideally that we did this. And checks would then be deposited for everybody on May 27th, which would be the fourth Wednesday of the month of May, the same month that you earned those hours in. And then May 16th through the 31st will be the second pay period. Checks would be deposited on June 10th of the next month.
I have a
So,
question too.
yeah, why so far away from?
Well, why so far away? Because Dayton wanted it that way, because I wanted to do as soon as possible after we submitted payroll. But that leaves us always, like, if for instance, if the 15th lands on a Sunday, you know, or a Saturday, then it's gonna take, I'm gonna need a couple days to get the payroll timesheets from everybody. And then I'm gonna have then the payroll company needs 3 to 4 days to process the payroll. And so you don't know what day you're getting money on. Dayton said him and most of his firefighters would not be able to budget effectively that way. He wanted me to pick an actual date of the
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
That is undoable because of the fluctuation of dates in the calendar, which would put us out of compliance with what the laws state for paying
So
bi-monthly
each
a
month
month.
we would get the 10th or the 27th, so.
No, that's example
So-
of May.
So
It
it's
would
gonna change every month,
always-
so you still
and if
don't
you
know
read
when you're gonna
this,
get a check.
No, you're gonna know this. Calendars 1 through 15th will be paid on the 4th Wednesday of the month.
Who's gonna
So
remember?
whatever, well, you just circle that date on your calendar every month. And then calendar day 16th through the last calendar day of the
Second
pay
Wednesday.
period would be paid the second Wednesday of the following month. If a pay date falls on a holiday, the only one in the next 9 months that falls on a Wednesday is Veterans Day. So I don't want to, because we have a 15-day period to pay you after the 15th and the last day of the month to be in compliance. So if we put even that one day out, it could potentially, you know, with the I don't want to take any chances. So if, because of just the way the sometimes falls on a weekend. So if, because we are putting that out there a little bit longer, but within the law, if the pay date falls on a holiday, the paycheck will be paid on the Tuesday prior. So
And is this just for hourly employees?
this is all employees.
I thought we weren't gonna do it that way.
It,
It was not.
so there was some requests and some talks about doing, salaried people, but they fall under that same law. They have to be paid by the first of the next month. They don't give you any time. It's just an undoable thing. It's undoable.
But it wouldn't make any difference for the board,
It
would
would.
it?
Yeah,
Why?
because the 31st of this month, Mary, is a Sunday, which means checks have to be deposited on the 1st. What do we do when the 31st is on a Saturday and checks have to be deposited on Sunday? Now you're not in compliance. It doesn't say whether it be a holiday, doesn't say or except in a holiday, it doesn't say except if it's
And
a
you
weekend.
can't early pay because it's
And
given
you
a loan.
cannot early pay because it's considered a loan.
So now I have to go change all when my bills are paid now. Gotta remember all my passwords.
So, I mean, unless you can come up with a better solution, but I spent a lot of time looking at a calendar, spent a lot of time figuring out dates, if there was any way to do it sooner and guarantee that it allowed dates for processing and it allowed dates to be in time, the time period. I worked with Integrated to come up with what they thought was the best solution, and this meets all of the little laws.
And are we gonna be able to implement this month? Maybe, maybe not.
They can implement this month. However, there is another law, so that I just literally just read, so I gotta do a little checking on that. My hope is to approve this if it is within the law, because I did read something that you can't make, if you have a policy that states this is your pay period,
Which we
you
do.
can't change the pay period once that pay period has started. So I think that there's a way to do this, approve this now. So I think the way that we would approve this now and stay within the law, because we state you're gonna get that check, right? So we're still gonna be in compliance. Nobody's gonna get paid ahead of time, or get a loan. So I think that we could pay the dates that we owe through the 15th. We just have to make sure that's paid this month versus going into the second Wednesday of the next month, if that makes sense. Or I mean, instead of going to the 4th one, well, that would still fall in there. I don't know, it's confusing because we're still within our policy if we do this. But technically, it does state that you can't change a pay period
Once the
after a pay period is started.
So we could start this in June. Would probably be the better option.
Not really. Not really.
You could, but you'd only get half of your pay in June.
Nope, nope,
It'd be full pay, but
nope, we don't really wanna do that. We would really rather pay this pay period by the end of the month, the first through the 15th. And then, and move forward.
It's because there's 6 days from last month
Yep,
that gets added. That's why if you wait and do it next month, we're still violating.
we're
because-
farther out of compliance. And we're in, yeah. So we're best to do it now. And we would, because they're gonna get paid, what we would do is, this I think brings us into compliance, and I would like to confirm this before it's set. Okay, so I think if we say that we're going to start this effective the 16th through the end of the month, and then we would pay the 1st through the 15th under the old policy, just like we would on the last business day of the month. And that brings us, then we're in compliance because we're starting, does that make sense?
want to brush your motion up a little bit before you make it. So if we're gonna do that, your example is, are we? do you
That's
want
just an
the
example. You
Okay,
don't have
it's
to
just an
include that.
example, don't have
That's
to
just an
include that.
example.
So how much
I
of
just
this?
want the other part included above that.
Okay, so, okay, so this is going, and I noticed you have two motions on this sheet of paper.
I do.
So I am going to call one 9H and one 9H1
9, okay.
because,
The only thing about the 9, and if you want me to read it, I can do that. We should put on here, I make a motion that we switch to and use the following pay schedule.
what do you need to change in here?
I just think we need to add,
Add?
this payroll change will take effect. Hang on.
I know,
can't-
I'm
you
just-
can watch your arm flapping over there.
Just getting it up.
Is it going up yet?
This payroll change will become effective, or somehow just put.
Let's just
become
put effective
May 16th.
Effective May 16th, okay. But
Was
I'm gonna
anybody
make
want a
you, I'm gonna
second?
make her say the whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Oh gosh, please don't.
I just wanted to make sure that all of her stuff was in here correctly before she
Okay,
said it.
I'll hear what Dane has to say before I do that.
After we had our discussion, when I said the specific dates, and then we talked a little bit more, and I went home and looked at stuff. I actually was thinking about the same thing as you just recommended, so good job, and I'm okay with that. The 4th Wednesday and the second Wednesday.
So once we
works
get
out.
into the swing of it, we'll have a
Right.
paycheck on the second Wednesday and the fourth Wednesday, second Wednesday. It'll go through that way, so.
And
Okay,
this actually makes it more effective, one for, your end of the year stuff, because you are done at the end of a month. There's no carrying days over, there's no other things,
Because right now, you guys get paid for the whole month, but my firefighters don't. because it
Correct.
Stops on the 24th.
correct.
Well, the last couple of months it stopped on the 24th.
Okay, so Therese,
So I make a motion that township switch from monthly payroll to a semi-monthly payroll period and use the following pay schedule. Calendar days 1st through 15th will be paid on the 4th Wednesday of the same month. Calendar days 16th through last calendar day of the pay period month will be paid on the 2nd Wednesday of the following month. If the pay date falls on a holiday, the paycheck will be paid on the Tuesday prior, effective May 16th.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? You take roll call, please, Rose.
I'm sorry, that was a lot of learning I did there.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller? Yes. Zelinski?
Yes.
Ward? Yes, Sights?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Okay, now I got second part to it, I'm sorry. I make a motion that all department heads submit approved signed pay sheets to the payroll administrator within 24 business hours of the end of a pay period.
I'll second.
Any discussion? We take
Is that enough time, Dave? Is that enough time for
any
you?
discussion?
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
All in favor?
If there isn't, so.
Aye. Any opposed?
I would take it before the meeting, if you would have.
Approve Parks and Recreation Committee bylaws. I know just there's one spot here where we should probably fill in days.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Before we make a motion would be made.
And the number of committee members as well.
Roman numeral 3, letter
So we talked about this, and I guess we decided, at least for the time being, that the committee shall consist of as many members as who want to be members.
I know when we did
At
fire,
least 5.
now, at least 5, but I know when we did fire association, everybody was a member of the committee. That we did elect a chair, the vice chair and secretary, but everybody,
That's how we did the events committee.
yeah, so everybody, so I agree, but we
So
did
everybody,
at
so it
least
should be,
5 members.
should consist of a minimum of 5 members is what it should say.
So we'll,
Consist of at least 5 members?
A minimum
Yeah.
of 5?
at least, or a minimum, how do you want it to word?
at least.
At least.
At least.
5 members, okay.
And then everybody's good with non-residents.
No, didn't we talk about only having residents be able to vote?
To be able to vote, yeah,
C
yeah.
on, Roman numeral 3.
So it says that members can consist of both township residents and non-residents. The,
Says non-members may serve in general
General
capacity, however
capacity.
they can't vote.
and note the officers should be residents.
Yes,
Must
we're
be.
good with, yeah.
Okay, you're good with that?
Yep.
And then in, 9A, kind of towards the bottom, says shall provide a copy of said proposed changes to each commission. Does it need to say board members or something
each
other?
Oh, yeah,
commission.
because this was, I think that was when we were thinking it was a park commission.
That's what I was wondering.
No, so these have to come to the board, your board.
They don't have to,
For approval, they don't.
it's a committee, it's not a required thing,
I think we should just get.
but we bring it anyway.
So instead of changes,
My question would be, if you guys don't
To the
approve what
board.
we're doing, then your committee can just do whatever the hell they wanna do.
No, we see what you're doing,
shall
but it's
provide
not,
a copy of said proposed
Yeah.
changes to the board.
To each township board member?
well, you submit it to me, and then I will make sure,
copies.
then it goes in the packet for everybody. And you guys meet quarterly, so I'm sure it wouldn't be,
So do we want to say to the board
Just say to the board.
at least?
That
Okay,
makes
so
it
we're gonna
easiest.
take out each commissioner
Change it to the board.
What is each commissioner? Oh, there it is.
to,
And to the
yeah,
board.
5 days, I was counting the days, it's like 5 days, so Tuesday before our board meeting,
that's the only
and
thing.
then it goes in the packet.
So, yeah.
Well, I have
The
a
changes
I have a
to.
question on 3.
Are you making these changes or are you gonna, or do you want me to make them in the Word document and resend it?
Oh, that's right, you did send me where you can make the changes, and that way,
But we'll approve it as,
and it will approve it.
or not approve it,
We
whatever.
can approve
can
it
approve
with the
it.
changes made, and she can make the changes and
You have something on,
put it
Yeah.
in her.
3?
I have a suggestion for 3, where you're talking about staggering, staggering terms. I think the first time you're established, you should have 1 person for a 1-year term, 2 for 2 years, and 2 for 3 years. But then you have your stagger. If you start everybody with a 1-year term, you're gonna
We
have.
did that, Mary. We did that in our committee. It's just not in here. We did that.
I don't
Right,
think-
we have the notes of that, because we talked about that at the first meeting with
We
Brian.
did talk about that, yes.
We did write them down.
I think it'd be good to have it in here though, so
You want-
people know.
okay, we can-
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
you're
we
gonna
can add
have,
that in here.
just for
Do you
the
want it in
starting,
here because that,
What
just
do
for
you do,
starting.
do you have elections in here? I can't remember, reading,
elections yearly.
or appointments of.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
Officers are 1
yes.
year.
Officers are 1 year
For Fire
appointments.
Association, I don't think we do the events committee, but every year in January, February, we appointed new officers. Or kept the same ones, to however. So,
Right. I don't know how you would word, I mean, I guess we can word it that in here. It's just, if these are gonna be standing forever and this is just like a one-time temporary thing that we're gonna stagger them.
That is another thing. Are you guys only going to establish the committee until a certain date? Or are you going to establish this until indefinitely?
Till June of 2026.
Well, you can do
I'm
that.
teasing, I'm teasing, it's okay.
Question.
Because in the past minutes, you guys have done only establishing the Parks Committee for X amount of time.
That was during ARPA, during
So-
COVID.
It depends. So these are more questions that you guys as a board, that a committee cannot make.
We don't have to have an end date. We can just keep it there. We would vote to dissolve it. That's what we did for
And
the
then,
event.
and really, you guys don't even need to have the term of appointments. You could just say until they decide to be done too.
Yeah,
So I don't think we need to put the different ones in there. I think
Yeah,
we can just have
maybe
this
not.
wording.
Okay.
And we
and
can
know
do that in the
that you can
meeting.
reappoint somebody if they want to be reappointed.
Right.
It would be
have to be.
different if it was a statutory committee like the
Yeah.
planning commission or
Yeah.
something.
The planning commission has a statutory responsibility to try to rotate out their members. By the planning law.
We're not changing anything on that.
Voting.
Okay, so 2 changes.
Just the board and all I got written.
the
Oh, and at least 5.
and then
Yep.
The
You're
board.
right, 2.
Yeah, Rose has them all written down.
I need to get with you after the meeting about the appeal one. So I can make the words that you want them. But yes.
We'll do it outside where it's cool.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
You have
Okay,
chills?
we're looking for a motion.
I move to approve the Parks and Recreation Committee bylaws with the changes that were made.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No, the basic motion.
Take roll call, please.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights,
Yes,
Zelinski.
Yes.
motion carries. Approve Parks and Recreation to hire for an RFP.
So, Rosalie has done a tremendous amount of work in helping get the parks thing up and running. We both spent much time at the conference talking to different people about improvements and ways and the best way to go about with the parks. And in our committee, or in our committee, we discussed the numerous ideas and complaints that people have had in the parks. And so we would like to hire a consultant for the parks. So there are numerous people that simply come in and tell you what they feel with the amount of space you have, with your wants, with your community, the best layout for your park. Because as Rosalie said, which I never really thought about because I don't have little kids anymore, but like our kids park across, our people park across from the playground. Many kids run out across the
Oh, yeah.
main drive and may not be the safest.
Because that's where the
We all know
bathroom
my
is.
thoughts on the disc golf park, and it's not safe. And then there's we were gonna hope to incorporate in with that, talking to them about what we want in there. public restrooms and pickleball courts, because if you remember back to, did I bring them or did I just give them to you?
We have a,
We have the list
Money in
from the
for a
survey. Yeah, so, and also we did a survey in 2022 or 2024, I don't remember. That was sent out with all tax bills, and it was inquiring what people would like to see, and the survey pretty much did, and I can forward it to all of you, that did talk about the things that people would like to see at the park, and those were the two number one things. So I would like to see what the best thought of those, oh, and then also the dog park
The dog
was
park,
very
yeah.
high up there.
So I put, for the title of the RFP, I did a park design and best use flow concept plan.
so are you gonna get more than one?
We're gonna get 3 bids and
I
3
know,
ideas.
Just asking.
Yes, because I believe in
I was
following
gonna ask
the rules.
No, I will send the email with whoever I sent it to, so you can see that I sent it out to so many people.
No,
No.
no, I was just wondering how you were gonna
Yes,
do that.
I did
mean,
this horrible thing. This guy, one of the guys I talked to, gave me a whole bunch of park designs on a flash drive.
Yeah.
And I shoved it in my pocket while I was talking to him and I washed it. And now I'm afraid to put it in my computer.
Good
But
job.
I thought about bringing it in and putting it in the township.
So we probably don't really need a motion for them to go out and look for RFPs, do we?
Well, we didn't know and we thought,
There's a cost associated with
Not for
public
looking.
notice.
Well,
yeah, we have to put it
the
in
paper.
notice, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, we do.
I said, okay.
So,
Okay.
RFP.
I don't know what a paper costs, so I don't know what to make the motion for.
No, you don't need to because the cost varies by how big and where it goes in the newspaper. So you just make the motion to put a notice in the paper for RFP for the parks.
I make a motion that Rose put an RFP request.
I'm gonna call it Rose Roll-Offs, okay?
Well, I was gonna say, I didn't know if I could put that in the motion. Okay, hang on, scratch that, I'm gonna start over. I make a motion that Rosalie Roloffs works with Rose Worth to come up with the wording for an ad in the paper for an RFP for park design and recommendations.
Park design and best use flow concept.
There you
plan.
go. That's,
Okay, now I gotta get this all written down.
I knew I couldn't remember what you said.
It is on my
Have any-
report.
do you want us-
Oh. Notice.
Oh,
for-
she wrote it on the report.
I did write it on the report.
The report
That's
that's in
right,
the
she didn't tell me
mailboxes.
that.
No, this
I'll
was.
second.
Oh,
No, it's in,
just a minute. Let me grab her thing.
we'll make sure you get that right, Rose.
It's here.
No, she didn't.
Oh, yeah, that's. I think I'm going somewhere. Where did I move that page over already?
I tried to be semi-prepared.
You're fine.
You write me down, Chris.
Rose, it's on this page.
It's in the reports.
I'm looking at that page.
Oh. It's the last thing under board action requests.
Approval to issue an RFP. That's not the motion that she made.
No.
And I know I get in trouble.
Well-
I have people
No,
say.
but the park design and best use flow concept plan is.
Yeah,
it.
that's what
Two
we
of them.
want. Okay.
Paper.
Park design and best use flow concept plan.
Okay.
Any discussion? Can you take a roll call,
Yes,
please?
sir. Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes, motion carries. Approve new members to the Board of Review, Planning Commission, and Zoning Board of Appeals.
Do we have?
I move the Inland Board approve the supervisor, the following appointments: Olivia Nelson to Board of Review, Mary Dew to the Planning Commission to fill a term expiring on 3/31/27, and Valerie Handy to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Mary Dew to the planning commission?
Yes.
Okay. And
Say those names again.
Olivia Nelson
Olivia, just a minute.
to the Board of Review,
Olivia Nelson. Oh, is that a relative of yours?
No.
Mary Do,
Yeah, I got Mary Dew and Valerie
Valerie Handy.
Handy.
Yes.
And I'll second.
I have a question, because I learned this thing in a class at the last conference. So Board of Review is required to have,
She is the property owner.
oh, she is, that was my question, because I don't know. I don't know who she is.
Have what?
Okay,
Property owner.
in our township,
Yeah.
okay.
I interviewed her and asked those questions.
She got
to make
tax
sure.
property ID number. Okay. All right. That was my only question, because otherwise it has to be.
Any other discussion? Can you take a roll call, please, Bruce?
Zelinski,
Yes.
Zeitz,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Nelson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Cemetery dumpster,
Okay, that dumpster is going to cost $34 a month, and they will bill us quarterly with our other one. And the reason I'm asking is because we have these barrels over the one barrel over there that is constantly overflowing. And our previous lawn care emptied it, brought it over here and emptied it, but there's always garbage laying around it. So they will, GFL will empty it once a week. I just have to remember to go over and pull it to the front of the street, and then they can empty it.
You're talking for the,
The inland cemetery, the
Inland
big
cemetery?
cemetery, yes.
So wait, you're talking an actual dumpster?
Yeah, a
like a
tote.
tote,
A tote.
or like your,
Oh.
It'll be empty.
To me.
It's
It's a tote.
Yeah, but it's the same size as or bigger than the barrel we have over there. And it's just, would be much less of a mess, in my opinion, because this is the time of year when there's so much.
yeah, but do we only want it during
And
spring
we
and
will put it on
summer?
hold for the winter,
Okay,
is the
yeah,
idea.
'cause I can't see people going in there in the wintertime.
Oh, they do?
I know they do,
Oh.
but not to the point
So-
where it's gonna be overflowing.
You're going to go and pull a garbage can out from where to the road every week?
Somebody has to.
Well, where is it at in the
It
cemetery?
is back by
Halfway.
the, it's between,
By the trees, the row of trees between the old cemetery and the new part of the cemetery, which is further south.
where the porta john is.
And there's just like an old barrel there right now? Okay. Gotcha.
Where were you gonna go with that? Because I think I liked where you were going. Can't we just put the container near the road?
Well, I don't think that's a good
No.
idea.
That's not a good
where I was
idea.
going, because people are gonna use it.
Yep,
Or dump it, or hit it, or all of
And-
the
I don't
Yes.
hope they use
it
it.
needs to be.
Well, I mean, that are not
I know,
people.
People will
from the-
pull over,
you
I'm
know.
sure they will. But we're also getting the 3 lanes now, and I don't,
Yeah, I didn't mean
I
near
understand.
the road or whatnot. I'm thinking more about
There's nowhere,
somebody having to go weekly and pulling a trash
there's
container.
nowhere to put it.
Wherever you're gonna put it, how about if I rephrase it? Wherever you're gonna set it for
That-
GFL to pick up, can't we just leave it there? No, okay.
They can't go,
They're not, their trucks cannot drive in through I mean, you don't have to back up, you just drive around our horseshoe. But we will be replacing every single
Yeah, they wanna pick it up
4x4
curbside.
in there,
Yeah.
we did.
And, I learned this little trick when I had to start pulling the trash can out myself.
Hook it to your
You just-
bumper?
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't have,
Well, I used to put my kids in the
Hook it
trunk
to
of
your
the car and
bumper.
have them hold
they
it.
won't,
On the ball.
they won't put one on my van. I'll just,
They won't? I used to put my kids in the trunk and have them hold it.
so, okay, so that's my spiel.
I make a motion that we put a trash tote / dumpster at the cemetery for $34 a month during open seasons, open months. You never know when it's gonna snow.
yeah,
Did you give a price in there?
I said
Yeah.
$34.
Yeah, I just. In an
You said
open month.
open months.
Okay.
Of the cemetery. You could add.
Who seconded that?
I will.
Mary will?
Any discussion?
It's definitely needed because
Well, I know you go
Especially
there all
this-
the time.
this time of year, especially in Memorial, they come in, and it gets crazy.
I just struggle with the idea that Lowe's is moving it roadside every week. So that's just my,
I need the
I
exercise.
support it.
I think they come on Wednesdays, so on Tuesday after work, I can go over there and get my 5 steps in and move it up to this.
How far is it away?
It's halfway.
Yeah, it's
I
halfway
don't,
back.
I,
Is it like
well, what's
100 feet,
halfway?
100 yards?
Yeah.
100 feet, something like that.
Might
I
be
don't
a different day, cause it might be a different truck too.
Well, I've seen the GFL things, I think it was Wednesday, I saw the GFL dumpsters out on 31.
But you'll
I
follow
can't-
up with
they-
them when you
they'll
order
let
it,
me
and
know.
they'll
Trace, you
pay
know
it.
where the tree line is in the old cemetery, right? That goes east-west? At the
No,
horseshoe
she
in east-west?
I've never been in this.
You've never been in there?
She's not ready to go
I
yet.
don't really wanna go in one till I have to.
We need to vote on that.
Yes, we do.
Can you take roll call, please?
Nelson?
yes,
Miller?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Worth, yes. Zeitz?
Yes, motion carries.
Yeah.
Fire department
19
apparatus
minutes.
quotes.
What apparatus?
So, looking to have, the fire chief send out quotes for a tanker truck
Oh,
or for bids.
okay.
So are we, is the plan an RFP? What is the plan? Is this the same truck we did prior?
Request for proposals, yes.
Is this the truck we did prior?
It's not the exact same truck. But yes.
It's the same
tanker-
kind of truck,
Tanker,
okay.
yes. Yes, please.
I move the Inland Board direct the fire chief to issue requests for proposals, RFPs, for the purchase of a fire taker, and to present the proposals to the board for review and consideration upon receipt. I further move the board approve the proposal determined to be the best value to the township and authorize the appropriate officers to execute the contract study. And further move, we approve the expenses of publishing a public notice and any postage as needed.
I'll second.
I'm
So
sure Betty's got that.
I got the same questions. How old is our tanker?
So Dayton said several times we don't need a tanker.
He just said,
But we've also said that in past
Well, that
boards
too-
that we don't need to do anything with our parks and we've deferred maintenance. And then next thing you know, all the park benches are broke and the wood chips aren't in the playground. And several things, and then I've looked into like how many, new buildings are going in, houses and stuff, and our community's growing, and we need to get on some kind of system where we have years and we buy one and then we start saving for the next. We can't just save and save and save and save and have all this money. We need to start doing these things. We heard from Benzie EMS when they came in here. I think they replace their trucks every 2 years for their ambulances. We need to get on this, we need to get on a good rotation.
their ambulance, I mean, their ambulance to me, they go out a whole heck of a lot more than our,
But we're gonna start
Tanker
going out
is.
more as we're getting more people in our township, and like I said, we defer maintenance here. And it's kind of been
we don't
Dang.
defer maintenance on the
Okay.
fire trucks. We never have.
no,
We've
not on the
deferred
fire
maintenance
trucks,
on the
but on
parks.
other
I get
things,
that.
and so we need to, like, if we're gonna be the best township, then we need
Well,
to
to
start
me-
doing things.
To me, being the best township is, again, we have constant complaints of the cost of our millages. And I get, we have a lot of money saved, I get it, but to me, you don't sell something and replace it of that extreme amount of value until it's in more of a necessity. There's a lot of life left on that truck, there's a lot of miles left on that
So
truck.
do you keep it
We're
till
putting
first
new
year of
tires
life?
on this truck. And so, yeah, I think that we keep the truck for longer until it starts actually becoming. Yeah, the money that we have in the bank is only earning a lot of interest money, right? So Yeah, so, and then we actually, it's not harming anybody to be there. It's not harming anybody. We have the money, we have it, it's locked to the fire
Fire
department
equipment replacement.
equipment funds. Doesn't say that we have to buy it early. Again, I'll use a car. I got a 2-year-old car, right? Am I gonna trade it in tomorrow? And I'm gonna take a heck of a beating on the cost of what I paid for it, which is what we're gonna do on a fire truck. And yeah, sure, I want a new shiny car. But to me, I'm not getting the money that I've invested in my car out of my car by trading it in this quickly.
No,
And I don't think we're getting the money out of a fire truck, and I don't think we're being fiscally responsible to the people of this community.
so I can say that that is a personal vehicle, and that would be more of a thing when you're running a business, which a fire department is, and at my place of business, Palmauer General Contracting, we replace trucks every 3 to 4 years.
Your trucks are out on the road constantly. How many, we don't even,
They could go
we don't
longer.
even see a
They could-
full
they could
year's
go
note
longer.
on our, a full year of runs at any time to give us an idea of what we're talking about. Have we ever sat down and figured out how many runs we go on in our township, what the cost of that fire truck is per run? Have we ever sat down and thought about really the true cost of that truck? Because I think those numbers need to be calculated before we make this kind of big decision. And I'm one vote, so I'm
Well-
just letting you know.
Yeah, my opinion on that is too, this is just putting it out there to see what it would cost. It does take about 3 years to build a truck for whatever we want it to be, so we're not talking about buying a truck next week. We're talking still years down the
2 to
road.
3 years.
But it doesn't hurt to go and put something out there and see again what it's going to be, because I'm sure it's gonna be bigger price than what he brought the last time we thought about doing a truck.
Yep, and how many
And we
miles
still
does our truck
and
have
we
on
still
it?
have
How much
trade-in,
life is in
and we
it?
still have trade-in value. Where if we let it go for another 5 years,
You're still
our
gonna-
trade-in value goes down dramatically.
I think we have to be mindful too,
Yeah.
when this came to the board in December of 2024, and the board approved then for the chief to look for RFPs, is a schedule where if we do nothing now with the tanker and the fire truck are replaced within 2 years of one another. So this gives us a schedule where about every 10 years, we are rotating a different vehicle in and a different vehicle out. And then for the restricted fund for fire equipment, then it becomes much more manageable. It doesn't grow. If we replace it now, if we replace it at the end of its life cycle, that would be about, and I'm just shooting from the hip here, but about 1.1 million, that fund. And then 2 years later, we're buying another one. This puts us on a schedule that's much more financially manageable, and that was the reason the board looked at it back in 2024. And that's when the chief brought RFPs to the board in 2026. So
So
I
you're-
think there's another
We gotta
angle to
keep
think
in
about
mind-
it too.
I
Yeah.
understand your point, but there's 2 key points there. So number one, you're assuming that we need a new fire truck every 10 years. We may need a new fire truck earlier. We may need a new fire truck. We're not taking into account at all, again, the use per year, the miles per year, the condition of the truck, any of those things. We're just saying we're gonna buy a new truck every 10 years. And we're just saying we're gonna take a giant hit on a truck, quite possibly, because we wanna get on a schedule. That is not fiscally responsible, and yep, you're right. Maybe have we looked at alternatives to getting us on a more, a better schedule? Have we? Nope. We've just said this is what we wanna do. And again, I think this is a big giant decision, and I don't think that unless somebody can show a clear need where we need a fire truck, I do not think that that would be responsible of us to do it. Money or money, not in the bank. We have the money, we can invest the money. We also can invest the money in a long-term bond or other things that are making even more money that then, again, you don't buy something in my eyes unless there's an absolute need for it.
Okay, I will
Just
Well,
remind
it's broke down
everyone.
on the side of the road and we don't have a piece of equipment to go.
That's why we do mutual aid, and just because it's a 2-year-old, I bought a brand new car that died on my way home with it, had a faulty fuel pump. I mean, there's no guarantee, there's really no guarantee in today's world.
And I will
Allow me
remind
to
everyone of,
clarify for a moment. I didn't mean to say we're replacing our equipment 10 years. It's 20 years. But every 10 years is truck A And then 10 years later is truck B. 10 years after that, which will then be a 20-year lifespan, would be truck A again.
And how old is our tanker right now? How old?
15.
It's 10 years old.
10 years old, so it's got 10 years of life, based on your theory. It's got
The
10 years
tanker's
of life.
15,
Okay,
7.
It was
If
built
every-
in 2014, 2015. It's 10 years old.
if everyone will remember, I put a paper out for everybody on the board about what the fire, I forget the name of the group that sets out what is considered the safety things for
That
trailers.
was AI generated. That wasn't actually from them. Right at the top, it says AI generated. That's when you type something into Google, your number one response is AI
I didn't get it from
generated.
just one spot, but the group that does do that, the name of the group, our chief probably knows the name of the group, but they set out the guidelines for keeping your fire department equipped the way it should be equipped. That I gave out to everybody several months ago with that research that I had done on that. And by going, it's, to me, it's like trying to tell someone that's in medicine how to do their medicine when I'm not in medicine. I have to take for granted people that are in fire, that deal with fire all the time, know a lot more about fire than I do. And I would rather go with what they are telling us than what I'm thinking about whether or not it's a new truck or it's an old truck.
Your job is to be fiscally responsible to the citizens
Of
of this
course it
township.
is. Of
Let me
course it
finish.
is.
He just said we don't need a new truck. He just said we don't need a new truck. He just said we don't really need a new truck. What we want is to get on a schedule. That is not fiscally responsible in my eyes. Maybe in yours, but it is not in mine. And I bet it's not to the majority of the people if you actually took this out to the community and asked them that. And also, we are talking about putting a fire equipment millage in front of the people of this community. We could be potentially getting these RFPs and we could get a whole bunch of people upset and we might not pass that millage, which may impact what our decision is. So maybe we hold off on this.
Well, the RFPs doesn't mean we're going to be jumping into it. It's looking.
Oh,
into-
Mary, you know this board as well as I do. If we get an RFP, we are going to be coming back for a vote. And otherwise, we have wasted, which was Dayton made clear in the last time. I don't want to go ask for RFPs unless I'm pretty certain that you people are going to say yes. Dayton, did you not say that?
Not
I
exactly,
don't,
but
well,
to
and
the-
to that,
but
yeah,
to the
because
thing.
I don't want to waste people's time. So, yeah, so it does matter. And I honestly, I don't know why we would even consider doing this before we passed a millage, number one. And I don't know why we would consider doing this without having a need. But again, I'm one vote.
And again, I've talked to different fire chiefs about it too,
So
so,
have I,
yeah.
and they disagree. So,
Well, anyway, we probably should vote on whether or not we want to.
Good discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any other discussion?
Roll call, please, Rose.
Okay. Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
no,
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries. Parks poster.
so Rosalie created this very nice little
Yeah.
poster with contact info to be determined is added to the bottom once we do that, other than, that will probably either be my email, the events committee does have an email we can potentially use, just trying to figure.
being used, I might use that, or is that probably?
I don't have
It's
access
just the
to it.
events. I didn't know if you guys wanted to do, like, I wasn't expecting this to even come to the board. It was, but that's okay. I didn't know if you guys wanted to do just a general parks email, inland parks
At gmail.com
or
something.
whatever. And then have the committee chair be the one that's looking at it and like getting people's questions or whatnot answered in there. So like if there's something broken on the park, then they can come in, email that email address, and then it can be hopefully carried through.
Is it regarding your report?
No, it's regarding what she just said, that it could help her out and help the board out.
The events committee did just open a Gmail account.
Is this something we can put up on the sign?
That,
Come on.
That, yeah,
I don't
parts
think
of
we
it
can
up on
put
the
this
sign.
on there.
It
It's not
I
gonna,
was thinking
you
that.
can't even read just the writing out there driving by.
I was thinking
I don't know
of
if that
putting it
was
on
there.
Facebook, having it be put on the website, and then, just maybe post it around the businesses in Inland Township too, for a little bit.
there's a fire department email that's not being used since things changed at the county and stuff, that I think that because it's part of the park, it's part of the township, that it should be inland parks at inlandtownship.org. All Therese would have to do, cause she's the admin for that stuff, is to call Intercom and to have them switch that name that it's currently at, I think it's fire reports at inlandtownship.org, change it to whatever they want for the township parks. Then they don't have to create a Gmail account. It's actually the township email address hosted by the township because it's a township committee.
And then when you get FOIA requests or stuff like that, then you have, people can look at one email. If they FOIA, the Parks Committee stuff, then you have one email to go with. And if I'm the chair and I'm trying to promote and get people in, I personally don't want to use my own email. I thought about just making, make up an email just because of it. But that's completely up to you, or you guys can just have one of your guys' emails and you guys get a bunch of emails.
I get too many emails as it is.
Well, whoever does the parks would have access to that email.
Yeah. So then that would be like sharing your guys' email with.
No, it's Inland Township, Inland,
That's if we make an email address though. That's why I didn't put a contact info down there, so I didn't know, because in the bylaws it says that anyone who wants to come and help, contact the committee, but we never really put email addresses or phone numbers out there.
you just need an Outlook account.
I would recommend not going with the inlandtownship.org, and also I have a question regarding that because I know, I thought I had heard something back at the events, that's why they did a Gmail, because it was an employee, non-employee monitoring the email,
Could be,
couldn't
okay.
be on the server. So I
Okay.
don't know if that's in our policies, and so I don't know if we have to approve that we do inlandparks@gmail.org or inlandtownship@gmail.org or something along those lines, whatever you wanted to create. And at the events committee, what we just did is we had 2 or 3 people that had, even though one person created it, we had 2 or 3 people with login information to that. So that, because you're not, there's different rules,
Right.
like,
So I left the contact him, I left it blank because I don't want my personal email on. I will make up an email. Or unless one of you guys want to take all that.
I mean,
Information.
you, because I'm technically the board member on there, you could have it sent to me, or we could create one, your choice.
I think it'd be better if you guys created one, and then it's not
I
so
do
much work on the board member having to look at all those emails, cause we get a lot of freaking emails. And, it'd be better if you had a group of people that
Just
could
tell me
see it.
what to do and I'll do it.
Start an email account with Inland, you pick the name, we authorize that you start the email. And we approve the poster that she created, and we also approve, or we make a motion to approve the poster, to approve Rosalie starting an Inland Parks email account of some sort, and that we approve authorization to post committee agenda and packet materials on the township website for the parks.
I'll second.
Got all that?
No.
Me neither, so good luck.
What are you posting on the website?
They can beat me, but I'm still on.
Meetings.
Holy cow.
Meetings, what do you post on the web, meetings and what?
So I basically modified this
Oh.
sentence. And then I said that we approve an Inland Parks email account for Rosalie to create. Approve the creation of this poster, finalization of this poster and distribution of this poster, as well as authorization to post committee agenda and packet materials on the township website for the Parks Committee. So really that just means getting it to Rose Marie.
Who does the Facebook?
Well, you can.
We don't have a
Oh, you guys
Facebook for
don't do a
that.
Facebook thing
No.
anymore? Oh, okay. Never
We
mind.
have one for the events committee. But nobody's really been using it because we haven't had the events committee.
Do we have any other discussion?
Who seconded that?
I
That Ben did, okay.
We need a roll call when you're ready.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Ward, yes, Sights,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Hey, Rosalind, remind me to talk to you about what I learned about Facebook pages and what is a good way to do them.
No
Will we
comment.
get approval next time?
We have the clerk's report. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? I did see that motion's suggested to be written. Just-
Yeah.
It's easy.
Motion, please suggest, motion, right amendment.
And then, when it says nothing else can be added, any other business?
That's what I didn't get that clarification because I didn't think about it until I was doing the agenda, that number 11, we have it on there and it's approved when we approve our meeting agenda. So would we really need to approve having, when we get down there, any other business come before the board? Do we really need to approve that Ted or Mary or you or any of us say something to approve it before we can say, add it to the agenda again? Because it wasn't added up here to approve it.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just curious.
I don't know, but it just, I didn't think about it, and so I was typing that, and then I saw this, I'm like,
Pick each other.
what's up now?
Anything, questions, comments on the commissioner report? Any comments or questions on the fire chief's report?
I would actually like to see, now that we're discussing this, I would like to see if it's a possibility, if we could have, like, I mean, 'cause this shows us what's here, and yeah, we could go through every month and dig these out, but it would be nice to see,
Grand total for you.
a grand total of, you know, through the months by month, what kind of things we have. Yeah, Elmira does a really nice monthly Facebook post of everything that they've done in their calls. That's, yeah. And then.
And is
they
there
do
any way that you could
comparison.
go like back 12 months and then just keeping it, moving the last date up a month? Just so there's a consistent 12 months on there.
He's got a, from what I heard, he's got a really fancy, program that will do a lot. So what I heard is you have a really fancy
know.
program that will do a lot. Pretty much anything you ask, we'll create a chart and documents for it.
Not exactly, doesn't always come with a draft or stuff like that. There's other ones that I have to I get the info from the program, but then I have to physically make the graph. There's other reports that have a graph. And the other problem is there's like the one that shows the nature of the calls split up. It's 13 pages long, but I can't give that to you because then it's kind of HIPAA, not quite HIPAA stuff, but doesn't need to go out that we went to this address, it states all the addresses that we went to.
The county, if
So-
you FOIA the county 911 calls, it gives you all the addresses.
You'll have to, maybe and maybe not, it's dependent on how you word it and what whoever gives the report, if they redact it or not.
So speaking of that, I do have another question. pertaining to the tanker truck in your report. Can you tell us how many miles a year on average the tanker truck goes out? And I would like that report next month with the township and outside support. If possible.
So what, say that again? So I have it
I
clearly.
would like the average miles per year or month, whatever is easiest for you, monthly would be great. Both trucks would be great for both in township and mutual aid mileage.
I can give you that, but I won't be able to split it up with the report.
Why?
I can do it, it'd be a lot of hours, and I
Oh,
don't
no,
know
no,
if
no.
I can do that
That's
as a
fine.
part-time employee.
That's fine, I just figured your program might be able to do it.
It can't split them up.
Okay.
But I know if I can search it and go through and try to.
I know I spend a lot of time dating, just curiosity.
Each report takes time, so whatever, and I'll do my best to get it.
Thank you.
Any questions on the Park and Recreation Committee report?
Nicely done.
Planning Commission draft minutes, anybody have any questions on that? I saw there's one thing where we were gonna follow up on, public hearing. Yes, okay, hearing. Yeah, good. Any questions on supervisor report? Okay, trustee Miller's report. One question I had is, just going through the data centers and stuff. And it says we can't use exclusionary zoning to keep data centers out of our township.
What page are you on?
Just first page down at the very bottom.
Oh.
And that's one of the things that they talk to you about in the MTA
Yeah,
about zoning, is
yeah,
there's
they
no
said
way
that.
to
Yep.
do much with them.
It's still worth putting them in there though, from my understanding, because much like the Dollar General, if you put any little roadblocks in their way, they will often, instead of trying to find ways against your zoning ordinance, which they can find, is basically what that means.
Those go out.
They'll go elsewhere a lot of times, because there are communities, believe it or not, that are open arms welcoming
So maybe
them.
that's something that the planning commission should talk
Should still look
about,
at.
or an ordinance or something on those. Okay. Trustee Nelson's monthly board report, does anybody have any questions on that?
Thanks for going to all those places.
Yeah, thank you. Zoning administrator report, any questions? And you can kind of see on here that there's, year to date, which we're pretty early in the year, but 7 new dwellings and garages, pole barn, shed. So we're definitely getting extra buildings in our township. And
And land
5 land divisions to date.
And those new buildings should not burn down, because they got all kinds of fire safety in them.
Tell you, one of the houses that I built,
I know, that's
we
what I'm
almost
saying.
burned it down because the painters left rags in the dumpster and it caught
Oh,
on
that's-
fire in
That's how
a
the
30-yard
school started on
dumpster.
fire.
And then cleanup day, thank you for putting that together. It kind of shows that, we didn't have as many people, so I think I would recommend possibly next year that a mailer go out
Well,
instead of what we've.
I think part of it was the temperature.
we sent
was
it out.
Maybe.
Pretty cold.
I know we sent it on the tax bill, but that was, if we send it out in the mail, say a month prior.
Here's the thing, I had
I
one
don't-
person come in, and they actually, just because they got here late, and I had one phone call, I don't know how many you've had, I've had one phone call asking, confused, because most people do know the date, but I talked to several people in line and people that were standing there regarding this, and I had people say, I come here just to participate in this day, but I really didn't have enough stuff to make it worth my trip,
Okay.
because they've been here every year.
Oh, that's good then.
Most people in the resident, or in this area, know that it's the first Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of money and time to send out a postcard.
Okay.
So I think that if we
I was-
utilize the,
Next
No.
month I'll have the yardage and costs.
Okay.
for everyone.
Yeah, and I had one call that, they said our website was hard to follow and the times, and I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
And I,
They're contradicting.
Mary's or Peggy's comments about that, like, that's the first time I've heard of them too. And, honestly, we just went with the flow of what the guy recommended, and there are a lot of opportunities to change the website if people let Rosemary know,
Yeah.
and, cause she can work with Reed to make those changes. Like, I complained that our searches weren't, to me, accurate enough, and he went in and made some tweaks along the way and improved that. And also I found things that like I thought were not good flowing things that I asked. So if we're not looking and we're not reporting to her, she doesn't know, cause she doesn't know what she can and can't, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
you don't know what you don't.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
right.
and also doesn't know what she can just change on her own without the board asking.
Right, okay.
And she doesn't know if there's a time restriction she has for doing those kind of things.
Do we have any other business come before the board? Public comment is gonna open at 7:10. Do we have any public comment?
Just want to say to Therese that thank you very much for that work you did last December on the beta or the Benzie bus millage issue. Just want, you got the tax, the millage.
Oh, yes, thank you. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Was
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It
you
was
have any other-
all tax season long, but thank you.
I have one more. I rode roll-offs again, Peace Trail. I had a couple people from the baseball league reach out to me since I'm also on the county Parks and Rec, commission. And they did ask about the field use in Inland Township, and then if anything can be done, will be done with the baseball field, because their program has expanded so much. And they don't have, the 3 fields in Elmira is not enough to hold what they need for practices and time constraints. So I do know that you guys should be getting a letter sometime soon or sometime within the next few months from the baseball league, requesting some work be done. And I think that it would be something smart for us to invest in, especially if a league is asking for help. But it's just reiterating, people are asking questions, and we need to be mindful to help the community out. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, public comments closed at 7:12. Do we have any announcements? Adjournment? Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Discuss it.
Meeting adjourned at 7:13.
Rose, what baseball organization?
The, Elmira, let me. How do we get the email?
Are they utilizing the honor park ones?
They are using anything and everything from what I know of. So the Benzie County Youth League is what they're, emailing. And they do all the, league stuff at Elmira Township.
Yeah,